Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy special edition of Tavern of Azoth. I am really excited today. You know that we briefly talked about AI dungeons and how it can help dungeon masters. Never before did I think that I'd be able to sit and play a game with a group of friends. And the game master is the AI why we play. So I'm really excited for this. I'd like to introduce my special guests here, Brandon, Levi. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be doing tonight?
Sure. Yeah. So my name's Brandon, and I'm a developer, and I've been working on this Tavern of Azoth project. It's the site itself started off as a tool to kind of help generate, I guess, creatures for kind of like your tabletop games, and specifically like merchants and equipment was one of the things that I wanted to help with some of my campaigns, so I can bring something up, as I was going that might be contextually relevant to what we were playing and where we were in the campaign. It's been evolving from there, and so recently we've been working on our campaigns feature, and that is a tool, as that was kind of mentioned, that has a AI act as the dungeon master, and the dungeon master can help guide the players through a story, and that's what we're kind of going to be trying out here. It's still in its infancy. There's a lot more to be had from it, but I think it's pretty exciting, even what we have today. So I guess we'll pass to Levi.
Yeah, I know he said it well. Yeah, I've been helping Brandon on the business side here for a while, and really we wanted to, use these AI tools that are out there that are powerful to help take some of the arduous parts of being a DM out. Like, a lot of times you're coming up with creatures and little things like creating a merchant and what gear do they sell and what does the monster drop, and to have images with it is awesome. It helps bring your imagination to life, but it just speeds that process up, makes it a little bit more fun. I think lets the GM focus on storytelling a bit more, and that kind of all tailed into this feature here. We're like, wow, how cool is the AI to be the DM, right? And we kind of put some rails around it, but really what we're going to go through here, so that we have a loose story that we're trying to follow here. Everything's going to be unique, and it's a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to it.
Me too. Garwin?
Yeah, I'm Garvin. I was only told about this like 20, 30 minutes ago. I have no clue what any of this is, what it means, what's going to happen, but I like Goro. He's looking like a tough big old cookie.
You
And I'm
named
hoping
your
to see what happens.
character Goro. Are you kidding me?
Of course, Goro Puff Tub.
All right. So how about we get on this? I'm going to share my screen so that the audience will be able to kind of see. It is worth noting that the chat and private chat itself is off screen. So if we have anything we want to discuss, we don't want caught on video, just chuck it in there. All right. So who's kicking this bad boy off?
Perfect. So it's got me first. I've got my half-elf blood mage Dell in here, and I'll just let the AI
might be worth before you click it, Brandon. Just have everyone click over and just give a brief overview of your character so we know what each other does before we jump into the campaign here.
Oh, it's a good idea.
I already hit the start. It might pop up soon, but
okay.
But yeah, that is a good idea. We should definitely kind of look at the characters a little bit.
If I click them, it shouldn't do anything, right?
Yep, you can click on the characters to go through them.
Why don't we start with Arlen?
All right,
Bales.
That's me. I'm Arlen Bales. I wanted to play Barbarian. I usually play like a Mischievous Chaos, like kind of, or Warlock or a Sorceress. So I was like, let's do a Barbarian. So this dude looks pretty beefy. I got a great axe, so a great weapon. So I can take a penalty in my attack, and I get plus 10 damage on my hit if it hits. Reckless attack, kind of your Berserk. Rage Berserk. My equipment over here is pretty cool. Great axe, 1d12. Hide armor, so 12 armor class, not bad. And look at my stats. Your strength looks pretty good. And I won't go over my backstory. So I think I'm just going to be like a brute. I'm going to run in and hit stuff. That's my strategy.
I don't hate it. Oh, hey, look, another one.
We didn't plan this.
Nope, not at all. I'm playing Goro Puffed Up, an Orc Berserker. I can intimidate my foes, swing my great axe with great strength, and enter a Berserker rage. And I'm not sure what a lot of this does, but it seems straightforward. My favorite class at D&D has always been the Barbarian, so I wanted to go barbarian first, but then, a little someone went, but you want to go straight barbarian like you always do? I was like, oh, fine, I'll go berserker. Add a little flavor to this.
Awesome.
But
like
I have bone armor, so apparently 15 AC.
Nice. That is cool as hell.
Yeah.
Dallin, that's my character. So what do I got here? A half-elf blood mage. Looks like I've got a life drain spell, which I think should be quite useful if it does the healings it says it will, and a blood bolt and a blood shield. Yeah, seems
That
pretty
is cool.
exciting.
Last but certainly the best is Thistle Bloom. All right. Now I could go all out about how he was born amidst the dense mystical forests known as Zarnak Moss Whisperer. As marked from birth, he is a conduit for the spiritual realm. And I'm looking forward to casting some magic in this bitch. His core powers are healing touch, because he doesn't let anybody get away from his touch. He has Nature's Wrath, which is an offensive capability, and of course an elemental shield. Very much getting some vibes from World of Warcraft right now, and I certainly don't hate it. I do have, I think it's worth noting that this system it is not 5th edition, what you're used to us playing. As we delve into this, is there any particulars about this system that the audience may need to know?
I think there's a lot of things we'll probably encounter as we go, but primarily there's things like you'll roll for spell actions because they don't exhaust right now. And some of this might change over time as we refine the rules and, make our AI system a little bit more intelligent about what your characters can do. But yeah, I think that's the most major. We'll encounter them as we go.
Sounds good. Is there ambient sound playing for everyone?
Yep.
Okay, it's not too loud?
Yes.
Perfect.
It's great.
I was going to say, I didn't know if your AI thing had ambient music, so I just chucked some in there.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
All right. Now, you told me I should be able to just click this button and we can start rolling, right?
Yep.
Rolling.
If you want to hit that.
Kick play and we're good to go.
The rain is an unending dirge, a relentless assault upon the weathered exterior of Haldor's farmstead. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and a hint of unease. The four of you, Goro Pufftub, Dalin Dawntracker, Arlen Bales and Thistlebloom, find yourselves huddled in the dimly lit interior of this humble abode. Haldor, the farmer, his face etched with worry and fatigue, shares his tale of woe. A tale of a demonic tooth found in the dark woods, of nightmares that have plagued his sleep, and of night creatures that have cast a shadow over Willowmere. His words hang heavy in the air as he implores you for help.
Holy shit, that was awesome.
That was really bloody cool, yeah. So, how do we do the action thing? Do we wait for each other, or do we just whoever writes first goes?
We'll take turns doing it. So the character on the left, in this case it's me, will go first, and then it'll rotate through. So I'm just going to do a pretty basic action here to start.
Beautiful.
And depending on the action that you do, it may or may not get you to roll if it thinks that it's necessary. In this case, it wanted me to do the perception roll. So that's what's showing up there.
I totally just realized this had a title. The Secrets of Madness.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness. Now, are there multiple voices to choose from, or?
It's definitely an option. That's something we could put in there. Today there isn't. There's just
Dalin,
choice,
your keen half-elf eyes scan the humble interior of Haldor's farmstead. The room is dimly lit, shadows dancing on the wooden walls as the flickering light of a lone candle struggles against the encroaching darkness. It's a simple dwelling, filled with the trappings of a farmer's life, worn tools, patched-up furniture, and a hearth that has seen many winters. You notice the children huddled in a corner, their wide-eyed stares revealing the fear that has gripped this household. But beyond the mundane, you find no sign of any immediate danger or out-of-place artifacts.
I didn't hit play. He just went on. Which is awesome.
After the first one, they'll they'll fire automatically.
That's so cool. Okay, so
And you're up, Thistlebloom.
how do you know? Oh, it says my name down there. Oh, so it
Yeah, and it moves the characters automatically from
left to right.
from the left
that
and
is
whatnot.
so
Yeah.
cool. All right, all right.
It's good to know I'm only second last in initiatives. This will be good. This will be fun.
They're a lot nicer than last time we played. This someone attempted to scare the children even more.
Oh, you gotta love some bastards.
Yeah, he was lawful evil, or what was he? Yeah, he was aligned. Can't remember
Lawful
what it was.
dickhead is what it says.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Thistlebloom, the goblin shaman, you move towards the children huddled in the corner. Your small stature and kind eyes seem less threatening to them. Offering a gentle smile, you pull out a small trinket, a beautifully carved wooden animal from your pouch. Their eyes widen with curiosity as they reach out to touch it. For a brief moment, their fear seems to ebb, replaced by a flicker of childlike wonder.
Well, that's good. They forgot their worries for a second.
Problem solved. Next quest.
Glorious. We solved all the issues here. No problem whatsoever.
I'm glad that I didn't scare him away with my ugly mug.
I questioned whether when it said shaman right off the start there, whether that was going to go that direction.
I can't imagine it because it's AI based. We can't implement certain sorts of restrictions. Like, let's say I wanted to run an adventure where it's an all orc party, but orcs are notoriously violent. And is there a way to get it to react to that, like providing an outline or something?
So you could provide an outline for it to, I think, generally follow those type of guidelines. Some of that isn't something that I've tried today, but I would think that it'd be possible.
Yeah, I know. I realize this is in its infancy, but as we go through this, I'll probably poke and prod at things like that, because I think that as a game master, this is game changing, right? I usually am running them, so being able to sit and play a game by myself. Please tell me this will be mobile friendly.
Yep, it's mobile friendly today.
Yeah, it's just a website, so you can play. One of the nice things is you can play synchronously or asynchronously, like with your buds. Like sometimes Brandon and I'll have a game throughout the day. We just kind of take turns throughout the day. Versus other times we're like doing it like right now.
See, I like that because I'm running a play-by post right now, and it's my first time experimenting with that asynchronous style play. And this is perfect for that.
Oh no! It wants me to roll intimidating
Oh.
presence.
Son of a bitch.
I tried to be friendly.
Yeah, right.
Just read what I wrote, man.
That's funny.
I tried to see what the AI would do if I was a bit more fancy with the words.
I like it.
I said birds. I wrote that wrong.
I think that AI usually is pretty good about.
It's good at picking it up.
Goro Puftub, the hulking orc berserker, you soften your usually stern expression and lower your voice as you approach Haldor. You ask him about his expectations, trying to appear less intimidating. Haldor seems slightly taken aback by your unexpected gentleness, but manages to maintain his composure. He tells you about the demonic tooth and the nightmares it has brought upon Willowmere. He implores you to take the tooth and follow the merchant's trail north to the Tavern of Azoth. There, a beastmaster named Lysandra may be able to help.
Okay, I got the wrong impression when they asked me to roll intimidating presence.
Have no fear, children. You
I clicked enter by accident. Oh no. I think I might have confused the kids. That's what might have just happened.
Roll, hey?
Well, I think this will be interesting to see how it takes that partial sentence, because that'll also be expected in games, right?
Having me roll an intimidation roll.
Have no fear, children.
18.
You're both orcs. I mean,
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
they're okay with the orcs, but it's the green skin that pushes them away.
Arlen Bales, the half-orc barbarian, you turn towards the frightened children in the corner. Despite your intimidating appearance, your voice carries a comforting warmth as you assure them of their safety. Your words echo in the silent room, resonating with a sense of security that seems to soothe their fears. Their eyes, still wide and filled with anxiety, flicker with a glimmer of hope.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna
Yeah,
piss
surprisingly
themselves.
intelligent.
So the one thing that really jumps out at me as a player and a game master for this, is it safe to assume it will save this story?
Yep.
And it can be exported later?
Yeah, you can jump back into this like campaign at any time, and load it up and see the history that has come along with it. And there are more features that I'd like to add around that, like the ability for the players to keep their own notes, maybe keep track of stuff.
Dalen, your voice is soft yet firm as you ask Haldor for any additional information about the demonic tooth. Haldor hesitates for a moment before producing a small wrapped bundle from a hidden pocket in his tunic. He unwraps it to reveal a tooth, its surface gleaming ominously under the dim light. It's larger than any human tooth, with a sharp, curved edge and stained an unnatural black. I know nothing more, he confesses, except that it brings nightmares and bad luck. He hands you the tooth with a look of relief.
Well, there we go.
So adding player notes is pretty cool. One thing that's always intrigued me, roll to perform.
That didn't work. You might have to refresh and try and make the action again, if that works.
No, don't generate a new character.
Just hit the X, it should be okay.
Oh yeah, I didn't even accept my action.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, dude, I get it. This is early stages. This is the beauty of it. Is I assume you're watching like the code or some such in the background, maybe. I don't know, but
I haven't in this instance yet. I might to see exactly what happened there. Probably after I'll look through these.
an Arcana check. That seems a little more precise, a little more accurate.
Yeah, it had something for you to roll there. It came up blank last time, and that's not supposed to.
Just like my mind. So, is there an intent to like add your own background music and stuff to that?
Thistlebloom, you take the demonic tooth into your hands and focus your shamanic knowledge on it. You sense the dark energy pulsating from it, a feeling of nausea and dread washing over you. Despite your efforts, the tooth remains a mystery to you. Its origin and history are shrouded in a darkness that your magic is unable to penetrate. You know one thing for certain: this tooth did not belong to any creature of this realm.
I think the other thing that's really cool about this is it doesn't force us to reiterate what we learn. Like usually as the game master says, you know this, and then the person says, oh, I know this, or I think this. And I kind of like that. But anyways, about the any hopes or plans for like background noises and stuff.
I mean, it's pretty nice with the music right now. I haven't even put too much consideration on it, but I like the suggestion. I think it's a good idea.
I'm friends with I don't know if you're familiar with Bardley.io, but he's an acquaintance of mine that has really great stuff that he's put together. Maybe consider checking out his free like 7-day trial. I bet you could figure something out with him. He's always looking to partner with people. So
Awesome.
Yeah,
Love
well,
it. Oh, definitely.
we did talk about sound effects too, like little animations.
Oh yeah, that'd be
if you
cool.
cast like firebolt, right? Like on the bad guy, eventually when you see a circle, a little fire comes and stuff.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And we were like, oh, we should just do it like the Lego movie, do our own sound effects. Like,
If you end up doing that, I'm so in. I could
Right.
sit at my desk and just make noises for you guys.
I know, right? That's what you do in a real game. You just make your own noises. So it's like we should do the same.
Yeah. The bolt of flame streaks from your fingertips and crashes into the bristling bark with a.
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite literally what I do. Haven't got laser beams with pew pew yet, but I'll get there. I watched.
I just opened that goddamn Word document.
Are you writing
check
a
my
book,
typos?
dude?
It's a good way to not click enter. Like
No.
Are you
Yeah.
sure? A lot of clicking going on there.
I can pretend clicking like I'm a hacker in a movie.
Is it getting you to roll intimidation again?
Yep. Specifically
Wait,
intimidating
whose
presence.
bones are you adding to your collection? The
The
kids?
enemies? God, I hope not the kids.
No. God, do you
Children.
read what I wrote?
Goro Puftub, you stand tall and proud in the dim light of the farmhouse. With a thud, you tap your bone armor, the sound echoing in the silent room, a clear testament to your strength and resolve. Haldor and his family watch you with wide-eyed fear and admiration. There's a moment of silence before Haldor finally nods, gratitude evident in his gaze.
It really does a good job, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm really curious what happens if we actually do what on a what my orc brother here wanted to do before and actually write out what we say.
You can.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it usually picks up whatever you put in parentheses and tries to say it. We've done some pretty funny things that way.
Can you like change how it sounds, or it's always going to be the narrator, isn't it?
The narrator, yeah.
Because that would be cool if when you pick your character, you can pick from a few voices when you put things in
That would be
parentheses.
cool. Yeah,
Or record your own voice. The AI is getting pretty good where you can do that, right?
absolutely.
It's possible. Yeah, it's totally possible.
Obviously, I'm getting a little too excited and all the things, and you guys are scrubbing to make sure it just works right.
I love it though. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But you guys have turned me into a believer, man.
We're all over it, Arlen Bales, the half-orc barbarian, declares, his voice resounding with determination. With a last look at Haldor and his family, you all make your way out of the farmstead. The rain has subsided to a gentle drizzle as you step onto the muddy path. Ahead of you lies the Merchant's Trail, a well-trodden but lonely path winding through forests and meadows, leading north to the Tavern of Azoth. The journey ahead promises danger and uncertainty, but you march on, driven by duty and the promise of adventure.
I'm actually a little curious. What would happen if you assembled a party with the intention of stealing the tooth and running away with it? Would the AI adapt to that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. It can go any number of directions if you start to take actions like that. Halder might become upset with you. He might just let you take it. That stuff's worth trying to see.
No.
Yeah.
So this goes through Chat GPT-4, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So you must have spending a buttload on tokens on.
Yeah, that's true as well. It's definitely one of the interesting things we need to, address as we go through this is how many tokens it consumes and what kind of price point does that put it at. It's still, to be determined for sure, but it's a big challenge.
Definitely.
One of the nice things with AI.
Dalen, as your gaze sweeps across the trail, you spot a rustle in the foliage. Peering closer, you catch a glimpse of a goblin lurking in the shadows, its beady eyes fixed
Hey,
on your
found your
group.
brother.
It hasn't noticed your keen sight yet and remains undisturbed.
See, his brother, it's more like his son, isn't it? Old dude.
Ah, that's fair.
Thistlebloom has spread his seed wide.
I like the shot at diplomacy. Every time we play, someone just immediately smashes him with an axe.
You
We're
see
always
what I'm
like,
writing before I write it?
Yeah, we're watching you. Yeah,
Oh, I had no idea.
I mean, we're watching your
Oh,
stream.
that's. Oh, yeah, duh.
just to stream. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is really like weird. But yeah, no, I'm streaming. You can see my text. That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, a language roll.
That's what I
Interesting.
don't mess. Oh no,
Uh-oh.
Not a good
hanging
one.
out too much with fucking.
You can't
Goro.
speak your own
Yeah.
tongue.
You're hanging out with Goro too much.
The orcish has rubbed off on you.
Mixing orcish and goblin.
Thistlebloom, stepping forward, you address the goblin in its own guttural language. Your words hang in the air, slicing through the silence of the forest. The goblin's beady eyes widen in surprise as it hears its native tongue, but it remains rooted in place, seemingly unsure of how to respond.
Okay, now I guess we stab it.
Good thing the orc's next.
Yeah, right. I mean, it didn't attack, so
Yeah.
that's a win. I like the detail that's kind of really come with this. I mean, this was all just created on the fly, based on his description, or all of ours, right?
Yeah, and I think there's I think there's even more to come that we'll include on these screens.
Another thing that might be cool, and I'm gonna once again get kind of over ridiculous, but one of the things, I don't know if you've played Crown of the Magister for 5e, the video game, but what it did that I started taking note of is they do little dotted lines when you're traveling, and then when you like camp and stop, it stops and draws, and then it tells you what the characters did. So having some sort of like line path on a map, even if it's just starts as a blank map and fills out as you walk, would be kind of interesting.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
One last check of diplomacy.
Oh, is that what that was? Diplomacy?
Intimidation.
Everything he does requires intimidation.
Apparently. I'm a scary individual.
Goro Puftub, your voice echoes through the forest, a primal growl that sends a shiver of fear through the goblin. The creature's eyes dart from you to the path and back again, clearly torn between curiosity and fear. For a moment it seems to consider its options, then, with a final wary glance at you, it scampers away into the undergrowth.
So is the half-orc gonna chase after it?
Hey, we did. We got things to be about. We have an evil tooth in our midst, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you guys what. Oh, God.
I gotta play an orc.
We almost made it.
The half-orc is attempting to be more orcish than the actual orc.
It does feel a lot worse attacking goblins when you have goblins on your team. Like, the morality is more questionable.
Let's also think about.
Not really. It feels about as bad as when you have an orc in a team and attacking orcs. It's what would happen otherwise.
Okay.
I think I figured out the half orc is just trying to compensate and trying to make himself look badass in front of the full orc.
That's right.
He's like, I gotta live up to their
The half-orc's
expectations.
just
This is how you do it,
The
Goro.
half-orc's just trying to be like, yeah, it's trying, look, Goro, I'm just as orcish as you are.
Goro, let me show you how it's done.
I mean, look at that roll. That is how it's done.
I'm not done with you. Arlen Bales, the half-orc barbarian, roars as he charges after the goblin. As he approaches, he swings his great axe in a reckless attack that cleaves the goblin in two. The creature doesn't even have a chance to scream before it crumples to the ground, lifeless. But even as one threat is neutralized, another emerges. From the undergrowth springs another goblin, this one brandishing a short sword and a cruel grin. The ambush is on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I hope 10 of them surround you and stab you.
Stab the elf. Are you an elf? You are an elf.
Who won with 6 hit points?
Let's get the elf.
You're going to die.
Yeah.
So you got to roll now for the creature. So if you can see, you have a red on the right. So you're going to take the creature's action. You just have to engage it.
Who does that?
I guess it's me in this case because I created
it. You created it. So Brandon's going to click that
Oh.
and do a roll based on what the creature does. It just progresses the story, but the DM, the first person, kind of controls it.
Okay, we got to talk about how the fact that he got experience for slicing something in half, and we clearly were doing the right thing, and got nothing. I'm having throwbacks to 3rd edition.
Well, we got experience actually too. I have 13, but it only gave us 12.
Interesting.
The forest goblin, with a snarl of rage, lunges at Arlen Bales. He swings his short sword with a swift, practiced motion, slicing through the air and finding its mark. The blade cuts deep into your side, sending a jolt of pain coursing through your body. You stagger but manage to keep your footing, your eyes never leaving the goblin.
Ow.
You deserve that.
See, this is why you use bone armor,
I don't
not
have a-
hide.
Yeah.
Use the hard part of the body, not the soft part.
I just thought of something that would be awesome. How hard would it be to turn this little button down here for the text into a text to talk?
I actually think that'd be pretty straightforward. Yeah, you could probably do dictation into it just through the, the tools the browser even has
Probably
already.
a browser tool.
Might do it. Yeah.
I know my Google Doc does a pretty damn good job of capturing what I say.
Yep.
That would be awesome because that would be the only part that I feel like might be missing a little bit is I like to play the character. Or you could type it out and then say it and then hit go, I guess, or read it ahead of time. But this is phenomenal, and I'm 100% a believer. And you guys got a supporter because this is rock on, man. I will tell the world.
That is great to hear. Yeah, I love it.
Only about 25,000 people follow me, so I wouldn't say that's a world, I guess. But
well, the more people that give feedback too helps, right? Like we're players that are making this for players, so
yeah. Well, I will give this thing a run for its money if you let me, especially if I can play it while I'm sitting on the toilet. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's good for that.
With a swift motion, Dalen, you draw your blood-bound dagger and dash towards the goblin attacking Arlen. Your attack lands, cutting a shallow wound across the goblin's arm. It hisses in pain but remains standing, its beady eyes now fixed on you.
Well, I don't want it to attack me.
Yeah, it's coming for you.
I think it'll be okay.
Touch me, bro.
There we go. I don't want to see too many goblin deaths.
I like that. That's a good call. They're popping out at us. Just scare them all off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, please tell me something amazing happens if I get a 20. Does it know what a crit is?
I think yes. Whether it does something with it or not is not always.
Nature's wrath crit. You shoot a bolt of green energy at it. It dies.
It's got you to roll again there, I think.
Oh yeah, for damage. I'm sorry, I totally wasn't.
No, it's all good.
I got this. I noticed there's no modifiers. Is that just because I'm low? A low B? Or
it's probably something I have to put in there actually.
Oh, for like attack rolls.
Yeah. Sometimes it'll include them. I'm gonna not leave that part up to the AI. I'm gonna add that as a system before the AI, but today it is the AI and it just doesn't necessarily do it.
Thistlebloom, you raise your voice, shouting a warning to any other goblins that might be hiding in the shadows. Your words echo through the forest, a clear signal of your intent. With a swift motion, you channel your shamanic energy and call upon nature's wrath. Thorny vines spring forth from the ground, wrapping around the startled goblin and squeezing tightly. It cries out in pain and surprise as the sharp thorns dig into its flesh. The forest goblin is visibly weakened, but it remains on its feet, snarling in defiance.
Cool.
That was a cool sounding move.
Hell yeah, it is. It's not all how I envisioned it. It's way better.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's so poetic the way it describes it. It's like, that's unbelievable. We had someone die the other day. What did it say, Brando?
The world has lost a blood mage.
Yeah. I know, it's so poetic.
So serious.
So yeah. If you want more people to play this, you let me know. Like I said, this is something I can play from my toilet. And as a game master and as a D&D author and all that stuff, this is gonna change everything. I think you guys got something here.
Awesome. Yeah, I really do love to hear that. It's something that we'll need to continue to improve for a bit, obviously taking in the feedback we're getting from this session. And then there's a wait list, right? Oh, I'll let it. There's a wait list right now, but we'll actively try and open that up, I think.
Yeah, if you feel the need to bump me to the front, I wouldn't hate you for it.
You'll definitely be getting access.
Yes!
Cave in his face.
I just got a 20 and 3 in the damage.
Here's a crit, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't register the crit as like a double damage, does it?
Maybe the description will be different.
Goro Pufftub, with a snort of disdain for the weakened goblin, you stride forward. Your fist, hard as stone and unyielding, connects with the goblin's face. There's a sickening crunch as its features cave in under the force of your blow. The creature's lifeless body collapses to the ground, a clear warning to any other goblins that might be lurking in the shadows.
I guess my warning wasn't clear enough.
I mean, yeah, hey, what better way to give any warning to anyone around than just going, see, I don't need weapons to kill you.
Did you really have to cave his face in, Goro? Arlen's voice, a gruff baritone, cuts through the silence of the forest. His words hang in the air, echoing off the trees. The orc, Goro, merely grunts in response, wiping his bloody axe on the grass. You continue along the merchant's trail, the slain goblin's body left behind as a grim reminder of the dangers lurking within the forest.
He must have splashed on his axe. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
It's excess.
I just realized, you never cleaned your axe.
I don't need to. No, that's a full orc thing, not a half orc thing.
Of course.
The human half is a messy disaster.
Yes, the orc half knows how to take care of his weaponry. Makes it last longer.
Oh, goodness. Man, viciously typing.
Like it feels like those scenes in the movies where you get like Hacker Man cans.
It's my mechanical keyboard.
Oh, yeah, right. Stay in the middle of the group for reasons.
For reasons, yes.
Those 6 hit points. He's a little intimidated.
For reasons, Dalen murmurs, his voice barely a whisper carried on the wind. With a wary glance cast over his shoulder, he positions himself in the middle of the group, taking comfort in the presence of his allies. His gaze remains ever watchful, alert for any signs of danger as you continue your journey down the merchant's trail.
Yeah. I like that it adds for reasons as a whisper. Like, I'm going to hide here.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good in real life. Just like he shifts in, and all you hear him say is "for reasons."
Destination is what? The Tavern of Azoth, right?
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Or like, we want to kill shit. I assume it has a structure for like traps and stuff.
Yeah, you're saying like
I look for traps, and then it'll decide whether there's a trap there or not.
Yeah, sometimes the AI will incorporate its own traps into the environment. More often than not, it's something that like I've included in the pretext of the story, and then but it does have a system that a little, there might even be traps we encounter to show that. But
So how much of this story is like?
Let us take the safest path, Thistlebloom murmurs, his voice barely a whisper carried on the wind. He closes his eyes and reaches out with his senses, communing with the creatures of the wild. Yet the forest is silent, its denizens wary and unresponsive. Perhaps they too sense the goblin's trap, or perhaps they are simply unwilling to reveal their secrets. The path to the Tavern of Azoth remains fraught with danger, but you press on, guided by Thistlebloom's wisdom.
Yeah, my wisdom ain't telling me shit. Good luck.
To answer your question there, the majority of the story is kind of a handcrafted pre-story that exists over top of or that exists before the AI starts to guide you through it. And
Is that something the game master will be able to do as well?
it depends. That's a direction we'd like to go down. I think we're a ways from getting to that point. There's obviously a lot of tools that need to kind of be user friendly before that, before we can really execute on that. But I think that's where we'd like to get. And the reason we've gone that route with this system is, at least in my personal experience, I find the AI tends to fail at long story arcs. And so if you have kind of like a guiding story for it to follow over and kind of work with, you can incorporate, I think, something that's a little bit more interesting and less chance of devolving into nonsense.
Is there a certain format your detailed adventure starts out as? Like, how hard would it be to take one of the adventures we've published and have it added as a framework for something like this?
That's such a good question. I'd love to try and figure that out and see if it's something that could be achieved. I think that there's, in my mind, that should be the goal we're trying to get to, is to enable something like that.
Would you like me to send you some samples and maybe you can tinker with that over time?
It wouldn't hurt perhaps to have more conversations about it, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we could get it that good.
Every time.
Oh boy, you have to clean your axe again.
Apparently.
You should know it's a sacrifice to Grumshallen, Goro retorts, his voice echoing through the forest. With a swift motion, he tears off the heads of the fallen goblins, adding them to his belt as trophies. He takes up position at the rear of the group, his eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of further danger.
Well, if I didn't scare him off, that certainly probably did.
Perfect.
All right. It definitely seems like you need a face, and by face I mean like that sort of character, to make sure that everyone keeps going. Oh goodness.
To me, one of the best parts is the
What is wrong with you? Arlen's voice, filled with a mix of disgust and disbelief, cuts through the forest's stillness. His gaze lingers on the grotesque sight of Goro's goblin trophies before he turns away, quickening his pace down the merchant's trail towards the Tavern of Azoth.
The dialogue between party members is just, to me, one of the best parts.
I hope I hope a tree falls on you.
Oh, come now. It's the interaction between a full orc and a half orc. It's
I feel out of place as an old wise goblin with a bunch of brutish ninnies.
It's struggling to progress us a little bit. I'm trying to guide it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about just a minute ago. If there isn't somebody that's constantly saying, I'm going to continue, then it seems like it can devolve into whatever the hell Garwin's trying to do.
Yeah. Sometimes it goes through.
All I did was quite literally just take the head and then follow behind you guys. That's all I did.
Sometimes it's still something we're ironing out, but sometimes it moves you along pretty quick, and sometimes it lingers on a particular location.
There's a balance, right? Sometimes you want that little side quest from the arc and that dialogue, but you also want to continue forward. So it's finding that balance, what most people like.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm leaving the trail, Dalen announces, his voice firm. He strides off the path and towards the Tavern of Azoth, his pace brisk. Yet his steps falter as he realizes that the journey is not as simple as it appears.
Oh, please.
The forest, thick with undergrowth and hidden dangers, resists his advances. Dalen is forced to retrace his steps back to the path.
Oh, no.
As you regroup, a low growl echoes through the forest, and a large forest bear emerges from the underbrush, its eyes fixed on your party.
You were just railroaded by the AI.
Yeah.
How dare you progress the story?
Oh my god.
How dare you progress the story? This is
leave
fun.
the
We're doing
trail at all.
RP right here and now.
Oh goodness.
That's strong. I don't want to do any of us.
You know what might be interesting? And this is just my game master speaking, that when it describes the bear, it doesn't show what it is. Maybe have it call for like knowledge checks on the creature, and then reveal things about it from the character's perspective.
That's cool. I love that.
So just a thought. Once again, take it, leave it, man.
It's
my turn. I don't want to kill the damn. I just want to leave.
He's got two orcs. You better leave quick here. You bear? It's mine.
No, its skull will be added to my collection.
It will be mine.
That's a demonic orc.
Yeah. Oh, it's been a while since I've done that voice.
Bet you we got a good chance of diplomacy here. Come on, Shaman.
It didn't ask me for a roll, so I'm gonna.
There you go.
Speak with animals.
You need a good one.
Interesting.
See if it gives you.
So does this work with the 5e rule set you currently have implemented as part of your character process or your AI process? Or no? Because
Like speaking with animals?
no, when I selected my character and I chose the
We are just passing through. We mean you or your kin no harm. Thistlebloom speaks, his voice resonating with the power of the wild. The bear, initially aggressive, seems to understand, its eyes softening and its stance relaxing. It gives a gruff chuff, acknowledging your peaceful intent before lumbering back into the forest.
do not charge it, you bastards.
So
I'm
tempting.
tempted.
So
Yes.
tempting.
Like, if we both attack it, we could take it out in a single turn. just
I'm a
right now.
shaman.
If we
I'm a
roll
nature of
well.
spirits and animals.
We could do it.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't sate your thirst by killing the critters and ripping their heads off their
I mean,
corpses.
you're letting the bag of XP walk away.
That right there. That's why I should get all kinds of experience for my roleplay and F. Garwin and his stabby head ripper.
Now, diplomacy probably should trigger some XP. Right?
Even if it's half as much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a valid thought. Yeah.
In my mind, they're like, "Oh, that's a good idea," and then they get done. That was effing stupid. Why would we do that?
Oh, I do like the diplomacy angle. It shouldn't be full experience, but I do like some.
The other thing we plan on adding experience for is even just exploring, moving into the next areas.
Nice. How well does it have handle asking, about about things that may not actually be there? Like if we walk into a temple, right, and I say, I'm interested in understanding more about this temple. What do I know already, and what can I glean, or something like that?
So if you try to prompt it and make up stuff for it that just simply didn't exist at all, most of the time it'll guard against that and come up with some narrative that basically says that isn't something that's in the room, or yada yada, or that's not something you can necessarily do. It depends on how extreme it is, I suppose.
Right.
Smaller, less important things it might let pass. Larger prompting, it tends to, and the intent on our part is for it to try and moderate that.
Same thing with attacks. You can't call down like a thunderbolt from the heavens
God.
to kill someone.
Oh no.
It's funny you said that. Oh, come on.
It's asking me to roll.
You readied it.
I said I readied it in case it comes. I didn't say I was going to attack. I literally said I wasn't.
I'm ready for that bear if it comes back, Goro announces, his voice echoing through the forest. His hand tightens around the haft of his axe, and his gaze remains fixed on the spot where the bear disappeared into the underbrush. Yet as the minutes pass and no further threats emerge, Goro relaxes slightly and turns to head towards the Tavern of Azoth.
Right. We're good for now. Now, is the 5 health going to go against the 2d6 slicey bear?
Yeah, I still notice the bear is still in initiative at this point, so I'm just waiting for it to be like, psych!
I need to add something that indicates, or maybe, actually it'd be good to get your thoughts on this. I'm considering adding something that'll indicate whether the creature's hostile or active or inactive.
Like a yellow instead of a red ring?
Maybe a color, or maybe some kind of icon or something, or even clicking on it. But because right now the only thing is if it gets to its turn and it's not hostile, it'll just skip its turn.
Ah, okay.
I see.
So it's hard for us to know whether or not this creature is going to attack us when it gets to its turn, or whether it would actually just skip its turn entirely. Okay.
Copycat.
I hope that something ambushes you from behind that's not the bear. I really do.
I like putting Dalen back there just in case.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I agree that it's probably...
I'm also ready for the bear. I recommend Dalen covers our flank, Arlen says, his voice echoing through the forest. He walks towards the Tavern of Azoth, the door creaking open to reveal a warm and inviting interior. The scent of roasting meat and spiced ale fills the air, mingling with the soft murmur of conversation and the crackling of the fireplace. As you enter, the patrons turn to regard you, their eyes filled with curiosity and a hint of wariness. Welcome to the Tavern of Azoth.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Are those images AI generated on the fly, or were they pre-loaded?
These ones, the key story locations, are pre-generated.
Okay. And then you load them in there so that it shows them. Does it ever create random ones?
It does not right now.
Okay.
The AI
that's a nice little touch there.
Yeah, I like it, and it is something that I'm considering, depending on it, like how consistently it could produce something that reasonably portrays the area. Because the AI can introduce new locations, and you're kind of like rubber banded back, but those ones won't display a picture today.
Right.
Sorry, it's
it'd be easy enough to do. We just wanted really good ones.
I am curious about one thing though.
Yep.
If we had just said And then I entered the Tavern of Azoth when we were in the farmstead. Would it have skipped to the tavern?
No.
Nope, the system only lets you move through adjacent locations, which
Okay.
could include skip overs like a portal or something if it was necessary for the story. But
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Like
interesting.
the impression I got was that there was going to be some kind of journey to the tavern, but now it seems like it was just down the street.
Yeah, it didn't really give us a time span, did it?
No.
That's something that I now that you point out, I realize you're right. Is it doesn't really say that, hey, you traveled for 3 days with no event or whatever before stumbling across the goblin.
Mhm.
yeah, it should when you move location, just fill it in a little bit, say how
Yeah.
that end bit of that journey progressed. That's really good feedback.
Happy to provide it. I want to see this thing blow up and become super successful. Because
Awesome.
this
Thank
is
you.
amazing. Like I said, as for me, I make a lot of content, so like it'd be nice to be able to playtest all my own stuff through a system besides just random numbers and then hoping I get to play.
Yeah,
Mhm.
true.
This is a way to do that because we playtest our stuff pretty good, but if I could run it through these like sorts of little simulations and stuff, I could do a lot more.
You have a lot of faith in us.
You're very diplomatic.
That's nice.
I feel like I
Honest.
don't need to. I don't even need to try. I'm not going to be able to pull
No.
off these intimidations.
So what were we doing here at the tavern again?
I'll have a drink, Dalen says, his voice calm and confident. He walks over to the bar, orders a drink from the bartender, and then takes a seat at a table, confident that his companions can handle any potential threats. The bartender nods, pouring a frothy ale into a mug and sliding it across the counter to Dalen. As he sips his drink, he keeps an eye on his companions, ready to lend assistance if needed.
So is this when we start the bar fight?
Yeah.
That everyone tries as soon as they get here. Really,
We have the tooth. Do we have the tooth? We have the tooth, right?
We do.
we
yeah.
do, yeah. And we're
Yeah.
looking for Lysandra, the Beastmaster.
And that's actually an important thing to point out too. I guess equipment right now is static, but it will be a system in the future. It's what I'm working on. you know.
Is
it'll
there any like in the because currently I'm noticing we have no money, so is the game just assuming we have the bare essentials of what we need?
Yeah, today it is. Currency is going to be a part of it for sure. When I add equipment, there's going to be currency, and I hope to even get quantity for items that should, like rations or something that should deplete. I think I can achieve all those, and hopefully the next update on this.
So is there a list that shows what skills we have? Or is that
It's just the actions right now. As you level, it'll
Oh.
add more. I know it did. Oh no, it does have Nature's Wrath on there.
like it's asking for gather information, but I assume there's no bonuses or anything, so I assume it's just a specific
no.
check.
Yeah, I don't have those skills listed. That's something that should get put on another page.
Okay.
I don't know if gather information. Sometimes I think it takes some liberty and comes up with some.
Does anyone know anything about this tooth? Thistlebloom asks, his voice carrying across the Tavern of Azoth. He holds up the demonic tooth, its dark surface glinting ominously
God.
in the tavern's soft light. The
This is
patrons
what
fall
I would
silent,
do.
their conversations halted by the sight of the tooth. Some avert their eyes, while others exchange wary glances. It seems that no one is willing to share what they know, or perhaps they simply do not know anything at all.
This
I
dude
love
walks in asking him how to demonic. No one to know what he answered him. Like,
I love how this played out. Like the player probably went on. I'm gonna see if I can ask this or that person about this, but instead the game went on. Hey, anybody know something about this shit?
Well, and that's what I'm playing. I'm kind of playing with it, and how detailed can I be versus how simple can I be, and what does it do? And I mean, it did exactly what I wanted. It just did it all at once.
Yeah.
I think Frodo should have done that when he got to the prancing pony. Just held up the ring. Hey, I don't know about this. Where's Gandalf?
Oh man, that's funny.
Let's see, was it Lysandra we were looking for?
So good thing we can scroll all the way back.
Yeah.
It would be interesting, and once again, this is just
There
things
we
I'm
go.
thinking up. If you could click on certain names and like add them to a list of important places or people.
Like pin
So
them.
that-
Yeah, we've talked about like pinning stuff, pinning
Yeah.
keywords, information. Yeah.
One of my
Totally.
favorite apps is Obsidian.md. I don't know if you're familiar.
Okay.
It's a free one you can get that allows you to interconnect a million things, like a conspiracy theorist. But it does it in such a way it's super valuable to both the player and the game master. You give them access to the different information, and
that's
obviously
cool.
wouldn't expect something like that, but having one that a list of important details and locations and stuff that you can save. And I know you mentioned something about like a notepad, maybe.
Yeah.
Like you can highlight something, add it to your notepad, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's where we want to get with it. It'd be nice to be able to click the things that are important right off there.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's as simple as highlighting this and then clicking it and adding it automatically to like a journal, or even just summarizing it. I mean, I don't mind this, but can you imagine? I can only imagine if you did an adventure that took a month.
Yeah, 100%. You'd start to lose it, definitely.
I'm just waiting for what this.
Will it ask me intimidation again? It hasn't yet.
You'd intimidate the barkeep for that. This is going south.
We have business with Lysandra, Goro announces, his deep voice filling the tavern. He approaches the barkeep, a tall, burly man with a grizzled beard and a face that's seen more than its fair share of fights. The barkeep nods towards a corner of the tavern where a woman sits alone, engrossed in a large, weathered tome. That's Lysandra, he says, pouring Goro an ale and sliding it across the counter. Don't cause any trouble.
I'm going to punch her.
Clearly, he doesn't know who he's talking to yet.
You provoked me. Thanks.
You told me not to, now I must.
So I assume if you click on any of these arrows, it replays things.
Yep.
Does it replay it for everyone, or is it just one person that plays it?
Just the person that hits play, yeah.
I'm gonna walk over. Use the human side of my half-orc charm.
It's going to have you transform.
Hey,
Are you going to shapeshift?
can I buy you a drink? I hope it doesn't mean charm.
Is it getting you to roll for this?
Try to cast a spell.
Oh, it is asking me to roll. Damn it.
What is it?
Charm.
Charm. Oh, it is charm. Interesting.
Oh, he was hilarious.
But it's a good roll. So either way, I'm either gonna charm her or I'm gonna be charming.
I don't know. My information gathering still turned out a big pooey, even though this woman apparently is right in here.
Can I buy you a drink? Arlen asks, his voice smooth as he turns on the charm. Lysandra looks up from her tome, her eyes meeting Arlen's. She studies him for a moment before a small smile tugs at the corners of her lips. Sure, why not? She responds. You have her attention now.
All right.
So is there any way to continue with somebody's the same turn? Like in this instance, it would make sense that. Okay.
Kind of, yeah. Right now, I've just been doing exactly that, saying continue or go on. I almost want to add an actual button to,
Right.
Do that. That's something you guys been suggesting.
Something that just says like progress.
Yeah. Because something in this situation should just include him and her at the moment, but then of course you don't want to get rid of the opportunity for other people to.
Yeah.
Still respond. I can see the toughness there.
Yeah.
But if everyone agrees, hey, it's just you, why don't you just hit progress for now?
Go on, Dalen urges, his gaze focused on Lysandra. The air in the Tavern of Azoth grows tense as Lysandra takes a deep breath and begins to share what she knows. It's a tale of ancient evil and dire prophecies, a tale that sends shivers down your spines. The tooth you carry is no ordinary tooth.
Really?
It's a relic tied to Velenarius, a demonic wolf-like creature created by the god of madness. Its resurfacing could signal the resurrection of this evil force. Lysandra instructs you to embark on a perilous journey through the Manticore Trail, leading to the Ancient's Hollow, the resting place of Velenarius. She implores you to return the tooth to its rightful burial grounds, emphasizing the need for utmost secrecy. As your meeting with Lysandra concludes, you realize that your journey is far from over.
Couldn't just leave me alone with her for like a couple minutes, Brando.
No, I had to ruin
No.
it, make everything tense. I'm also laughing because it's encouraging secrecy, and you come into the bar with the tooth all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
And it also didn't emphasize her that she was whispering in any way. It seemed like she was just talking for the entire tavern to know.
No, I'm a little disappointed that it didn't do it in first person from her perspective. I prefer when it does, and it, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Something about a burial ground.
Oh, please roll a 1.
Got to roll.
Oh,
It's pretty close.
Yes.
He's gonna hold up
Can
his
we
staff
just pick
instead of the-
Lysandra up and take her with us on the journey?
That's a good question, actually. I
Got 2
wonder.
orcs.
Yeah, no doubt we should be able to.
Does anyone know where I'm supposed to bury this damn tooth? Something about a burial ground? Where is this place? Thistlebloom's voice rings out across the tavern, his frustration evident. The patrons fall silent, their conversations halted as they turn to regard the goblin shaman. Yet, no one steps forward with an answer. It appears that you must seek out this information on your own.
Worthless. All right,
Surprised
Goro.
Andrew wasn't mad at us for that.
Yeah. I can just see, you fool! What did I just tell you?
Yeah.
Let's see. Darling, let's try and carry Lysandra with us on the journey. Let's see what happens.
Do
Should
not.
try it.
I intend to let people see this, so don't put anything in there that might be misconstrued, please. Thank you very much.
Don't worry. I'm just gonna notice that Arlen seems to be smitten and just try and pick her up.
Is there safeguards against stuff like that?
OpenAI requires a moderation.
Okay.
So it goes through a moderation check first, and it'll actually just fail if something's too inappropriate. However, it's not worth pressing the bounds because they can actually ban a user ID, which isn't my account. That's the user ID that we pass through to them.
Okay. So is that something you're gonna have to be mindful of as more people use it?
I think that people, have a notice on there that says don't do anything you wouldn't do at a regular table, and you should be fine. It's definitely something that OpenAI, I feel like they've made tools to try and accommodate for that. So yeah, it's pretty reasonable though. I think you'd have to be pretty outlandish, I think, to upset it.
So are you guys? Are you guys in the U.S. or somewhere else? I mean, you have to be. You're central, right?
No, we're in Canada, Saskatchewan.
Oh, yeah. I'm an idiot. There's a whole other country above us.
We
Just
both
north
live in
of the ice wall.
It's just the ice wall. Oh goodness! Got a good view of the firmament up there.
How about yourself? Where are you from?
I live in Michigan. I actually work for a Canadian company. So that's weird.
Oh, awesome.
But yeah, no, I'm pretty local, and I'm pretty sure Garwin lives on the tip of the ice wall.
Yeah, I live in Iceland.
See? Told you.
Yeah.
What
Good
time
view
is
up there.
Oh man,
It's currently 2 a.m.
intimidating presence again.
2-year-old good.
I love this AI.
Yeah, I think that with the I mean, have you guys assume you've started monetizing this already, right?
This journey would be easier if you helped, Goro states, his voice echoing through the tavern. He strides over to Lysandra, intent on convincing her to join your party. Yet, as he reaches out to her, she steps back, her eyes flashing with a mix of surprise and defiance. I don't think so, she says firmly, slipping out of Goro's reach. It seems that Lysandra is not so easily swayed.
I love this.
That's good. I'm sad we're not carrying her yet, though. That was a good idea to just bring her along.
Yeah, so am I. Go on. Who the orc this thing?
As for our monetization, not yet. We've been running campaigns just for free, like get people's feedback. Obviously, there's a lot to build, I think, before we would,
Because I know you're monetizing like the other generator aspects of it, right?
Yeah, you can subscribe for those tools today, and I think that'll change a bit as we incorporate this feature into the site.
Right.
For us, it's largely about feedback right now. Like, we don't
For
want
sure.
to rush the product out. We want to get it
Oh,
good.
absolutely.
Yeah, so it's really, though people are paying for it now and getting a lot of value out of it, it's really for us the feedback to make this the best. And then once we're confident as a community, like, hey, this thing's pretty good, then we'll start opening it up heavy.
Absolutely.
This feature in particular that we're playing, I think, as you guys said, like, we're very excited about this.
With a hearty laugh at Goro's jest, Arlen Bales rises from his seat, his large frame casting a long shadow in the warm glow of the tavern. He strides purposefully towards the exit, the heavy thud of his boots echoing in the hush that follows his departure. As he steps through the door, the chill night air wraps around him, a stark contrast to the warm camaraderie left behind. Before him lies the Manticore Trail, a winding pathway through the dangerous wilderness. It is a perilous journey, but one that Arlen is ready to face.
I'm sorry, what were you saying there?
I don't remember what I was saying.
No.
Yeah, we just want this thing to be good. So we're not trying to rush out. We're not trying to over advertise it or anything. Really, it's about engaging community members right now and I think getting that feedback and making sure it's like our Discord's been pretty active with a lot of really great feedback, people giving us that they're playing it more. So that's been great. But this feature ultimately, like you see, this one ties a lot of it together. It's got character creation, it's got monster creation, it's got, we're going to have merchants in there soon and leveling up. So all those pieces are great for, if you want to DM your games and use that, that's great. People pay for that and we're using that right now today. But for people that want this kind of experience, whether it be single player or with friends, synchronous or asynchronous, really this is the one that we're most excited about, and we want to get this one right.
Absolutely. I think you guys have been doing a pretty great job.
You're still scared of bears, aren't you? You're going to trigger another bear.
I don't actually mean for it to create a bear. It's not. I hope it doesn't.
If this pulls a bear, and you're going to be upset.
If it pulls a Barrington, I might be impressed.
I mean, yes, I'm impressed. Me too.
I just hope I just hope it doesn't pull up a grave bear, man, because those things are terrifying.
A grave bear.
Yeah, it's a monster that I designed.
With a wary eye, Dalen Dawntracker peers into the dense foliage of the forest. His keen elven senses pick up the faintest signs of movement and disturbance. He spots clumsy tracks on the ground, perhaps made by goblins. The air grows still, and a faint odor tickles his nostrils. He cannot quite place it, but it puts him on edge. The wilderness is not as peaceful as it seems.
A grave bear is one that's undead, and after you kill it, it takes a little bit for it to wake back up, and then it ambushes you while you're resting.
Oh,
that
sounds
awesome.
awful.
It was awful for my players, but it was great for me, and I loved it. But ever since my buddy Ian threw it back at me, I've been very wary of any bears. Because it doesn't seem as brutal until you're on the receiving end of it.
Yeah.
I haven't even considered a resurrecting creature on this, and that's something that's interesting to think about right now too. That's
Yeah.
But I can help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
All the players can thank you for that bear that keeps coming back.
Yeah, no doubt. That's funny.
Our first, one of our first play tests, Brandon and I were playing, and the first room spawned. We were level 1. I think it spawned. I can't remember what level, but like an ethereal deer or stag at like 50 hit points. It just one-shotted both of us. And then it kept going for the next 3 turns. It's like it pummels your unconscious body. It kept just pummeling
Jesus.
us.
Yeah,
So our
that's
joke
pretty
is
good.
always like ethereal deer, terrified of it.
That's hilarious. That was one of the races I think I
That's
could have been, was ethereal something, right?
Yeah, an ethereal being.
So one more little comment here. It already dropped these creatures into the initiative, so I know that it's there for sure. And it's no longer that perhaps they'll be there, but they are in fact there. I don't know if that's a big deal.
Yeah, I was about to say something about that.
I mean, I really wouldn't have noticed except for this line. And then I was like, oh, there they are. So what I'm going to do is, once again, I've been trying to be very nice. I think I'm going to try something different.
You should try and heal the half-orc.
What? Why?
The half was fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, he currently has the equivalent of 10 hit points. If he just rages before
That's
combat.
right. And of course I will. That's right.
Yeah.
Seeks to confirm. Oh, that's not how you spell that. What the hell is his name? Arlen? How do you spell acquaintance? I don't know that.
I'm so bad at spelling, I'm not going to get it right.
Oh, wow. Look at that. It's got a spell check. And not even close. Yeah, no, that's right. No acquittance? That's not right. His party man. I was trying to say it's not his friend, right?
We're not friends.
His ally, Arlen? Was it
I said
Arlen?
that dumb orc, Arlen.
Arlan. Arlen. It's always nice.
See how many commands it'll accept at once, right? Because that's more than I've done, right? Communicate with nature, try to heal his ally, and ambush. Oh, there's my nature's wrath, so apparently I'm
One.
attacking something.
Yeah.
There's my healing attack. Oh, no communing with nature.
Interesting.
How many what is the character limit on the chat bar?
I don't know off the top.
It's 200.
With a quiet chant and a gentle touch, Thistlebloom calls upon the spirits of nature to mend Arlen's wounds. The half-orc's grimace softens as his pain eases and strength returns to his body. Meanwhile, the goblin shaman's senses are keenly attuned to the forest around them. He confirms the presence of other goblins nearby. His eyes narrow, a strategic plan forming in his mind for an ambush.
So, did it try to heal?
Also, Arlen just beat the max health.
Yeah, right. That's what I was gonna say. It shows my healing as 1d12, 1d plus 2, but then had me roll the d20. So somehow.
That's curious. Yeah.
The same thing goes with the nature's wrath, right?
Yeah, it should have had you roll for both those other numbers.
Yeah.
That'll be something I look up and try and figure out.
Oh, I totally should have put the shield on myself too to see if I can get it all done at once. But yeah, it pushed his max health over too.
Yeah, that one's interesting. I've been contemplating how to address that on my end, because there's some things that give you like temporary hit points that are supposed to go over even.
Right.
And so I've given the AI, I haven't enforced a max health on it.
Right.
But clearly it went too far in this instance.
Yeah, well, that's all it's worth learning, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The bot hasn't confirmed the goblins are there or that we know about them. Let's see if it'll allow me to attack them despite us not knowing where they are.
Dun, dun, dun.
He'll probably give it to you.
I think it will. Yeah, I think it will.
Yeah.
The fact that he confirmed their presence nearby, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. You enter your berserker's rage. Nice.
Oh wow, it had me attack 2 times.
Was a kid when it's an extra damage.
Interesting.
No.
No wait, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
damage.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You just
That
went
makes more
into a
sense.
rage and then attacked.
Does that mean he has a chance to fail?
Yeah.
Like,
Always.
In my
Okay.
mind, I imagine his face turning beet red and just releasing a juicy pile of poo in his brown pants. And roll a one.
With a guttural roar that echoes through the trees, Goro Puftub charges towards the goblins. His eyes glow with a terrifying rage, and his muscles bulge with raw power. The goblins barely have time to react before Goro's great axe comes crashing down on the goblin drudge, carving a deep wound into its body. The goblin labourer, startled by the sudden attack, scrambles backwards, its eyes wide with fear.
Make him dead.
And yeah, it did allow me to attack them despite us not knowing their location. Interesting.
It's safe to assume that doesn't have any like range stuff in it yet.
No real range enforcement, and even if I'm not even sure if it's something that I will be able to incorporate in a good way.
Right.
It's hard to say.
Yeah. Especially if you're trying to get as specific as feet or meters or yard or whatever metric you want to use.
Yeah, it's like so much of this remains just uncertain. I could try. I could see what the AI spits out.
Arlen Bales, a figure of imposing stature, flies into a fit of rage. His eyes burn with fury, his muscles tighten, and an animalistic growl escapes his lips. With a swift and powerful swing of his great axe, he lands a heavy blow on the goblin drudge. The creature lets out a shriek of pain and stumbles back, its body now bearing a deep, bloody gash.
Does this whole thing take into account the damage increase and the resistance of the rages?
Probably not. I'm thinking there's more data that I need to feed in. Like most of what you see on the character sheets is included in the AI, and then there's things that I need to add that isn't right now. So I would suspect that most things not on here, other than maybe
the goblin labourer, startled and frightened, lashes out in desperation. It unsheathes a rusty dagger and lunges at Goro. The blade finds its mark, cutting through the orc's bone armour and drawing blood. Goro grunts in pain but stands his ground, his berserker rage still burning bright.
Yeah, like right now I lost 4 hit points and it did 4 damage.
Isn't that
Should have had leather armor.
You're saying that the
Definitely,
rage should have prevented a damage.
Yeah, like an acid on it says it's resistance to certain types of damage.
but it doesn't say what type. Maybe it's not to
Maybe
weapons.
piercing. Maybe I'm not resistant to piercing.
Oh, I see what you're saying, because it said it's resistant in the description there. That is included in, and the AI generally should try and act with that information in mind. Clearly it didn't in this case.
I can disable his powers.
Oh.
No more intimidation or attacking for you.
It's supposed to be just him.
Well, I can disable yours right back.
Oh, it says I can.
Perfect.
Sad face.
That isn't how I wanted it, but
That's action unauthorized. Damn it.
sorry, what's happening here?
I just
So
went
got
and
one more
tried to disable
goblin
his
on the
powers
field.
right back.
I might as well just attack this creature, I guess.
So did we have a how? And this might be just because of the way we're playing. How long does this typically take?
Good question. This campaign probably runs. I mean, it's unfinished, but we're less than a third to where it would, where it'd mark off at its end. Obviously, we don't have to continue that long. We can call her wherever we feel, good.
Can you artificially add monsters just by words?
I can through my API if I wanted to push something in. Why would you figure?
Maybe we make this combat a little more interesting, and then maybe close up after this. Maybe
Sure,
have us get ambushed or stalked by something big. I would love for that bear to come back and those goblins to take out my boy here, Goro. So if you want to overwhelm him with just waves and waves of goblins and have a owl bear walk off with his corpse, I don't think I would hate that.
That'd be hilarious.
Let me see
Death
what
by
I can do.
1,000 tiny cuts.
Yeah, I mean, if it's too much, I'm just. But I'm very interested in this. I think what you guys got here is awesome, and I want to do whatever I can to help out, provide feedback. If you're ever interested in looking for somebody to write more interesting monster mechanics, let me know. I've written thousands of them.
Absolutely, I love it, and yeah, this is a gigantic help. So yeah, we'll continue to talk about it.
And hey, if you ever need any information about orc lore, just hit me up.
Yeah, okay, we'll bring you along.
Come on, there's so much people misunderstand about orcs. They're so fun.
They are fun.
What's there to misunderstand? You rip the heads off the dead corpses. But
Oh yeah.
I can't judge you because Brick, the half orc that I played, that was a chef, ripped off heads and was cooking them. So
Yeah. Hey, you were doing for cooking. I was doing it so that I could skin the heads later, cave their face in proper, and then offer them a sacrifice to my god.
yeah, that's not nearly as cool as serving it to your allied friends without them knowing.
Hey, I didn't say what was gonna do with the flesh.
Create yourself a new satchel.
Yeah. And leftover
You
stuff,
are
brain stew. Always fun.
Alright, check out. I wonder if I can do this here. So if I do this, while he's doing that, kind of give everyone a quick overview. So if you haven't been to Tavern of Azoth, I'm gonna keep calling that wrong because my brain doesn't say "a." So
It's all good.
Tavern of Azoth. Consider checking it out. It is a powerful resource for game masters. Whether you're using the compendium, which is this stuff created by you guys or just by some of the followers you have under your compendium?
I think most of it's our followers, the community on there. There's definitely a few things on there I've generated, but
It's all AI generated for sure. It's just
Yeah.
we always grab kind of the best of the week and continue to add to this. And
I'll have to put some nice stuff together for you then.
pretty soon there'll be a proper search tool too. It won't just be these highlights. You can actually search through the entire collection.
Which is pretty cool. So you can create custom generated characters pretty swiftly, even if it's for, So what is the brand of this game? It's TOA is your RPG, right? Versus 5e?
That's right, yep.
Okay. You can create creatures. We were playing Lancer, so I created a mech using your system.
That's awesome.
that's such a good one, though, isn't that good?
It turned out awesome. Merchants. I mean, you have everything you could want. Here's a TikTok halfling named TikTok. Pretty fun. So good, nice stuff here. I think what you guys have done. If you're not using this as a game master, you're missing out. Sometimes you just need something to give inspiration to your monsters or to feed to your players as a visual to help them, be immersed. Tavern of Azoth has everything you need. I cannot recommend it enough. Head on over and start beginning your campaign today.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Kept it in line with our bear theme, so I pushed Eldritch Bear into here.
Nice.
It should be interesting.
Oh my God, we're gonna die. Go get him, Goro.
It's okay, I got this. Don't worry about it.
You're up, Dalen.
I'm attempting a shield bash, and it has not gotten me to roll yet, so I'm skeptical it's going to let me do this at all. Which
Dun, dun, dun.
The goblin labourer, taken aback by the sudden onslaught, brandishes a rusty dagger. In a desperate attempt to defend itself, it lunges at Goro. The blade finds its mark, slicing through the orc's bone armour and drawing blood. Goro grunts in pain but stands firm, his berserker rage burning brighter. On the other hand, Arlen's attack lands true on the goblin drudge, leaving it severely wounded and teetering on the brink of death.
So the goblin got another turn?
yeah, it must be something to do with me adding that creature in there and then
Yeah,
taking my
'cause
action.
He changed some stuff around, so
I think it was
Yeah,
his
probably.
turn, wasn't it? Did it bump him out? I can't remember. But yeah,
No, it was supposed
Something
to be
got
mine.
weird.
It ignored me. It'll probably be on sync now. So that. Oh well, it wasn't a great action anyway. This shield bash.
Hey, you took half its health.
Oh, it did take damage.
Yeah. You dealt
Good.
half its health.
Good. That was probably better than I was gonna pull off anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. I appear to have taken 2 damage from the goblin dagger. Interesting.
they both play like us. Every time we type an attack, we always add to the face or to the skull.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
to the face. So one thing, so we know based on the text kind of the area we're in. So would it be able to adjust for that if one of you guys decided to just knock over a tree on top of the goblin? Would it roll with that? Roll with that.
I think it probably denies.
Thistlebloom, the goblin shaman, steps forward, his eyes glowing with a deep green energy. He raises his staff, the wood humming with magic, and brings it down on the goblin labourer's skull. There's a sickening crunch as the staff connects, and the goblin staggers, its eyes rolling back in its head. It sways on its feet, barely conscious.
Awesome.
Somebody kick him in the dick.
The tree action, not because it would be able to know that there's trees in the context and work with that, but it might think that pushing the tree over is out of your character's capabilities potentially and stop it at that.
Fair enough.
It's a good thing to test. We haven't really done too much environment stuff, but we should test that more.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind throwing it in. This one to
Goro, make it so.
knock over the tree. You've got the
Onto the goblin. He's got 1 hit point.
most chance
Hold
here.
on,
of being
I have
strength.
something else I'm trying to do first, see if it happens.
Oh, whatever.
Hey,
How the
we have the
boulder
half
falls
orc
on
here.
your
He
head.
should have about the same strength.
Minus 10 cool points for the orc. Pushing it off on the half orc.
When I was first developing this, one of the things I wanted to ensure wasn't happening is you could just make up absurdities and be like, I teleport around the room. And so I quickly generated a character, got in, and I tried my teleport action, and it teleported me, and I was like, that's frustrating. It's not doing what it's supposed to yet. And by sheer chance, the character I generated actually had the teleport ability, and I wasn't even testing a real. It was invalid.
That's funny. I'm going to test to make sure this block's teleporting, but I'm going to use a character that can actually do it.
Exactly. And then when I clicked on the character, I was like, oh my goodness, what am I even doing? Time to go to bed.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see what happens here.
Jesus. I don't hate it.
I like it too.
Yeah. Hasn't asked me to roll anything.
And they won't let you pick it up and throw it.
You must roll a goblin throw check.
That would be hilarious.
Dude.
Nope.
In a feat of sheer strength and ferocity, Goro hoists the goblin labourer off the ground. Your skulls shall be mine, he roars, hurling the goblin at the rotting eldritch bear. The goblin's body slams into the bear, causing it to grunt in surprise and pain. The goblin's lifeless body slumps to the ground, its skull crushed by Goro's savage throw.
The bear even took 2 damage.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the bear took damage, and I still managed to crush the goblin's skull.
That was awesome.
It gave you an extra 3 experience just for throwing the damn thing. I like that it didn't even bother with a roll because it's something. Did it do it because it's something you'd be able to do?
Yeah.
Easily. It's
That
interesting.
makes sense.
Probably. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's how it interpreted it.
It's like it's basically a situation that's easy enough for me to do, so it just doesn't bother having me roll.
That's kind of how it's supposed to
Hey,
behave.
you got to use your strength.
I did, yeah.
I think that's
With a
the
primal
first
yell,
time one of our
Arlen
big-
Bale
one of
swings
our
his great
modifiers
axe at a
managed.
nearby tree. His muscles strain as he puts all his strength into the blow. The tree shudders under the impact, but it does not fall. It seems that Arlen has underestimated the resilience of the old forest. Perhaps the bear's attention has been drawn to this commotion.
Oh, he's gonna
It
just
is
hammer me
the
in.
bear's turn, so you
Oh
might
no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's savage.
It's gonna.
Man, the first time one of our abilities, one of our modifiers gets added to it, and it's a
Yeah,
fail.
right.
Actually, maybe it's ideal here that it goes after Arlen, because I think it's gonna
Yeah,
do some
he has more than max
I
health.
didn't even attack it. I just went and randomly hit a tree. Leave me
I
alone,
throw a
bear.
goblin at it.
Sense your
Yeah,
intentions.
get the guy that threw the goblin at him.
The rotting eldritch bear, roused by the commotion
Oh,
and the
I
sudden
disappeared.
impact of the goblin's body, snarls in anger. It lunges at the closest figure, Goro, its claws slashing through the air with deadly precision. Goro has no time to react as the claws find their mark, tearing through his bone armor and leaving deep gashes across his body. He falls to the ground with a thud, his life force ebbing away.
Glorious.
Is it safe to assume there's no way to heal him to get him back up?
Yeah, that's correct.
Good. Stay dead. You deserve it.
The AI is often hard mode. Like, it's not easy.
I was just talking to some guys at a convention we were at. This
I'll just
weekend
roll up
in
another
Rapids,
character and add them in.
and it was all about. It's all about this brutal hard mode.
Yeah. And we kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, it's preference, right? But we kind of like the hard a little bit.
Yeah, I do.
Also,
We
I
do,
noticed that you're a blood mage, but I don't think you've used any of your magic once.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point. What
The
am I
blood
doing?
is from what is left.
Attacking the whole time.
He's called a blood mage because he's always in melee and shit cuts him.
Yeah.
He
not
even
my
used a
blood.
shield bash with a shield he doesn't have.
Oh, man.
We're often testing and just
No, Goro! Dalen cries out in anguish as he sees his friend fall. His eyes blaze with a mixture of fear and anger. His grip on his bloodbound dagger tightens. He rushes forward, launching himself at the rotting eldritch bear. With a swift and precise move, he plunges his dagger into the bear's kidney. The beast roars in pain, but it's still standing, its deadly claws ready for the next attack.
Oh, it's beautiful. Try the tree again.
Now I'm just trying to tinker and make the. How the hell? Guess I'll never know. Somebody else seem like a dummy. I do. I don't know
It
how I spelled
happens.
that wrong.
Oh, I know. Especially when you're streaming, I find I can't type. But just like, yeah.
RESU.
It's like I was saying, whenever we're streaming, we're often just joking around and testing stuff, and we forget what abilities our characters have, so we always get rolled because we just don't use them.
Oh, that's interesting.
I forgot to put. I'm stuffing it into his body. It probably won't let me do it.
Yeah, it's one thing that's actually nice about the AI is typos, even quite bad, or like, you know, if it can catch the context or your intent from it, it'll still roll with it anyway. It's pretty forgiving.
Yeah.
Still like that.
I was when I was first getting into writing, I was talking to Jeff Stevens. If you haven't checked out his material, it's great. Can't recommend Night of the shit. I forgot the adventure, but anyways, Night of the Rise. He always said, he's like, Justin, there's one thing I've learned. You can have a bad editor, or you can be a bad writer as long as your editors are good.
Yeah. Is that a book?
It's just a shame you
novel?
can't recommend him though.
Night of the Rise.
Night of the Rise.
I'll add you the link to it.
Yeah, appreciate that.
You know, he sounded really interesting, but it's a shame. Apparently you can't recommend
With a
him.
guttural roar, Goro launches himself at the goblins. His massive form becomes a blur as he hurls one goblin into the other, crushing its skull in the process. The remaining goblin retaliates, slashing Goro with a rusty dagger. Despite his strength and ferocity, Goro falls to the ground, his life force ebbing away. The rotting eldritch bear, roused by the commotion, lunges at Goro, its claws slashing through the air with deadly precision. Goro has no time to react as the claws find their mark, tearing through his bone armor and leaving deep gashes across his body. He falls to the ground with a thud, his life force ebbing away. Thistlebloom attempts to resurrect Goro, but his efforts are in vain. The forces of nature respond to his call, but they do not possess the power to bring back the dead. "I'm sorry, Goro," he whispers, a single tear trickling down his cheek.
That did that awesome. I love that.
Like it
That's
basically
good.
reiterated everything that's happened already, but then it also added another goblin out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Maybe the goblin was there the whole time and we just didn't notice.
Who knows? I love you, Arlen.
In a desperate act of defiance, Arlen Bales hoists Goro's lifeless body and hurls it at the rotting eldritch bear. "Finally found a good use for you," he sneers. The bear is taken aback as Goro's body slams into it, causing it to stagger back. But the bear is far from defeated, its eyes still burning with an unnatural hunger.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
wow,
Who's gonna
it got
tap in?
damaged by the goblin being thrown at it, but not the orc corpse.
I feel like
That
you
was
would have
too
wanted
light.
you would have wanted to be used as a weapon in death. I feel like.
Oh, absolutely would have, yes. Goro would be proud.
Okay, so for the creature's action, I just press the attack button, right?
The rotting
I hit
eldritch
attack
bear, startled by the sudden onslaught, roars in defiance. With a swift and deadly swipe of its massive claw, it lashes out at Arlen, the closest target. However, perhaps due to the shock of the goblin's body crash or the sheer chaos of the battle, the bear's attack misses its mark. Arlen, though shaken, remains unscathed.
I really like that it connects previous events to the description.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Really
a
nice, yes.
big missing thing from a lot of game masters.
It's one of the reasons Brandon was talking earlier, where if the AI is too open, like you're trying to create like a 40-hour just go anywhere, like it misses things like that, like to be able to connect story, like it just misses those pieces. So to have it kind of be centered around some rails, but created within those rails, I know a 2-hour, 4-hour, 8-hour campaign.
The goblin
That's
drudge,
our
sensing the
approach.
dire situation, takes a desperate swing at Thistlebloom with its rusty scimitar. The blade slices through the air, but the nimble goblin shaman manages to evade the attack, stepping back just in time. The scimitar misses its mark, leaving Thistlebloom unscathed.
Nice. And really what we'd like to have is, a bunch of these types, like we're in the we're in this specific campaign, but if you have a bunch of different campaigns, you can still have the same characters go between these different scenarios and still level up, get experience, and do things like that. So that's the continuation, and they just go on these different adventures.
Interesting. Hey, you finally
Yeah,
used
I was
magic.
thinking I was trying to think of something fancy to say about it. I'm finally gonna bust out my magic. Nothing came to mind. But here it is.
I gotcha.
Face the wrath of my blood magic, Dalen declares, his eyes glowing with arcane energy. He extends his arm, and from the palm of his hand, a bolt of crimson energy shoots out, flying straight towards the rotting eldritch bear. The bolt finds its mark, slamming into the bear's hide with a sizzle. The bear roars in pain as it stumbles back, but it's still standing, its deadly claws ready for the next attack.
Are you able to play solo in this, but have a whole party?
Absolutely.
Ah,
You can
interesting.
join in 4 separate characters and just take turns yourself, or even, if you had 2 people at the same computer, if you just wanted to alternate.
So if somebody's playing this by themselves or at all, do you have like a report comments button or something? Or do we send an email or go into Discord? Like,
If something is going amiss, no, I should add a report system. Right now, it's just been feedback on Discord, but
okay,
however you want to
I'll have to
reach
join
out,
the Discord then.
reports.
So I could make a party of orc barbarians and see what happens if I go full
Yeah,
rogue.
now we're talking.
Yeah, absolutely. We're pretty close to that right now.
More
but
skulls.
Yes. Just kill the farmers at the beginning, take the tooth, go to the goddamn tavern, initiate tavern brawl, kill everybody, then somehow figure out where I need to go.
Let me know how it goes. I'm curious. I want to see that happen.
Thistlebloom, the goblin shaman with a cunning look in his eyes, addresses the goblin drudge in an attempt to distract him. My friend, is that all that you possess? The goblin drudge looks confused, but before he could respond, Thistlebloom channels his shamanic energy and conjures thorny vines from the ground. The vines shoot towards the unsuspecting rotting eldritch bear, entangling its hind legs and striking its rear with a force that even nature itself would wince at. The bear roars in confusion and pain, turning its attention towards the party, its eyes glowing with an eerie, unnatural light.
I just realized
I think you just sodomized the bear.
I just realized that we can type in advance.
Yeah. Once you get in the swing of things, you usually tee them up and it goes a little quicker. Yeah.
Yeah, I just realized that. Like, it says
Arlen Bales, the half-orc barbarian, has had enough. With a grunt of frustration, he tosses his massive great axe to the side and steps forward. His face contorts into a grimace of determination as he squares up with the rotting eldritch bear. He pulls back his fist and delivers a solid punch square in the bear's decaying snout. The bear reels back, startled and clearly wounded by the unexpected attack.
What were we saying? Oh yeah, queuing up your actions. You can a little bit. I almost never do because I'm still struggling to think of what I'm going to do by my turn anyway. But yeah, you can a bit.
It says every player ever.
I'm gonna see if Gordon can come back from the grave.
The rotting eldritch bear, still reeling from the punch to its snout, shakes off its surprise and retaliates with a ferocious swipe of its claw. With an agility belying its size and decayed state, it lands a solid hit on Arlen, slashing through his hide armor and leaving deep gashes across his chest. Arlen grunts in pain but stands his ground, facing the bear with a defiant glare.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had the thing up again. I'd already pressed it. So this was interesting. As we're kind of going through this and detailing this out, and as the monsters get, stronger or whatnot, is there any sort of strategy?
With a wild, desperate look in its eyes, the goblin drudge brandishes its rusty scimitar and lunges at Thistlebloom. Despite his nimbleness, the goblin shaman is unable to completely dodge the attack, and the scimitar slices across his arm. He winces in pain but stands firm, ready to retaliate.
So when you're designing and building the character, the monsters, is the AI smart enough to prioritize certain things? Like in my mind, I'm thinking recharge abilities in D&D monsters, right? Those are far more potent, right? So you would want the monster to use those first.
It's a good question. I could add some sort of priority property onto these. I don't right now. I just give it its list of actions and let it make a determination off of it.
Okay.
And some of the monsters that get generated in here haven't even been pre-planned. Some are right from the AI as we're going. In which case, I wouldn't necessarily know which ones to prioritize. I suppose you could also let that be, the prerogative of the AI too.
Right.
Yeah, it's something.
Just curious because I guess I play a lot of 5e. So one thing I see mistakes game masters typically make is they don't come out with their big guns first, man. Like use it, use it right away.
I also haven't spawned up too many really. I haven't spawned up too many boss creatures or even mini boss creatures to kind of test this out. So far, I've been doing a lot of these smaller creatures. I don't even know how it would behave today. It might already do that even.
Be very interested to know.
Yeah.
Let's mute the clapping, Garwin. Celebrations are yet to come.
Right. I tried to climb this tree here.
Dalen Dawntracker, the half-elf blood mage, attempts to climb a nearby tree for safety. Yet his footing slips on the damp bark and he falls back to the ground with a thud. Ignoring the sting of his fall, he quickly regains his composure and channels his blood magic into a swirling bolt of energy. With a determined look, he hurls the blood bolt at the goblin drudge. The bolt hits its mark, searing through the goblin's crude armor and leaving a smoking wound in its wake.
All right, I think we're gonna probably have to call it there because I still have to work in the morning. But this has been a wonderful experience. We'll go ahead. This will probably play. I didn't know if I clicked that roll or not, but all right. So let's go ahead and first of all, I want to say thank you guys very much for allowing us to participate in this test. I think this is fantastic. Why don't you guys go ahead and give yourselves one more plug, and then when I get a chance, I will try to compile this into something to share with the world, and hopefully get some more traction your way. Is this something that they can actively do right now, or do they have to be invited first?
It's by invite right now. There's a waiting list. If they go to the site, they can hit join on there. Obviously,
why don't you follow up and just give us all the details and boom.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. And thank you guys. This has been phenomenal. It's been both enjoyable and the feedback is excellent. There's a lot we can do to improve it. And that's appreciated. So the site is tavernofazoth.com. And right now, today, you can go on there and generate characters or creatures for your tabletop games. Supports a number of editions, so you could potentially do 5th edition or even Pathfinder or Pathfinder 2. And what you've seen here today was us playing our upcoming feature campaigns, where we've built a number of modules that you can have an AI game master run you through and moderate and narrate your campaign, you either by yourself or with your friends. Thank you.
What about you, Levi? You got anything to add?
No, Brando said the best. We love the feedback. Thanks, guys, for having us. Anyone that wants to check out the website, you can do a lot of the stuff for free. If you want to pay tier and do a lot more, that's always appreciated. It just goes to support our progress as we build this. And look forward to your feedback.
Absolutely. Thank you guys once again for this wonderful time. I am looking forward to tinkering and playing with this and providing as much feedback as I can because it gets lonely on the toilet sometimes.
Perfect.
Garwin for joining me. I know it was kind of short notice, but I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. From an outsider looking in, Garwin, what was your thoughts about this? Any feedback to add to for Brandon and Levi?
Well, when I first heard about this, I was skeptical, Because all I knew was AI DM, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he didn't explain anymore, but I jumped in anyway. And it's honestly been bloody blast so far. It's been interesting seeing what the AI does with what you put in and like seeing the boundaries here or there, learning a bit along the way. And I'm really curious about what's going to be happening with this. Definitely looking forward to see what's going to do in the future. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Once again, I went in with not having too much expectations. I know AI is growing, but what you've done here is pretty phenomenal, and I think it's going to be very, very big. I can see game masters doing this to even improve their own game mastering, and I think that you're going to have a winner on your hands here with this, guys. So, thank you for sharing with us, and I look forward to hopefully doing more coverage of this. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, everyone, keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.